The chairman of the Arif Habib Corporation, the holding company of Arif Habib Group in Pakistan, says they will invest $20 million to set up a cement grinding unit in Hambantota. It was revealed at a media conference in Colombo recently that the Pakistani firm is looking at more investment opportunities in Sri Lanka.
In Sri Lanka, our group in fact has entered into an understanding with the government of Sri Lanka to set up a cement grinding unit in Hambantota. So that will have a project cost of $20 million US, of which $15 million would be invested upfront, and it will have a grinding capacity of 1 million tons per annum. We would be very much interested in fact, entering into various sectors of Sri Lankan economy, and we would also like to contribute for the development of the capital market here, which is our core activity in Pakistan.
Arif Habib Corporation last year took over the management of SKM Lanka Holdings, a trading member of the Colombo Stock Exchange. After this acquisition, SKM Lanka changed their corporate name to Serendib Stock Brokers.
We have also started corresponding with foreign potential clients with a focus to bring investments into the Colombo Stock Exchange. These investors are very sophisticated and want to understand the market and the economy in depth. Recently, there has been a lot of initiative by the Colombo Stock Exchange and the Security Exchange Commission of Sri Lanka towards the betterment of the market. We feel the strong initiatives, and with the market going through evolutionary correction phase, the market will be staged for a lot of foreign investors and local investors seeking value. This will take its time, but we are hopeful that this will take place.
And that was declared the best performing market in the world in 2012. So when I look back and see the numbers of the Karachi Stock Exchange and compare it with the Colombo Stock Exchange, I see a very good feature here as well, because I recall that my company, this Arif Habib Corporation, was set up in 1996. At that time, I was a sole proprietor of the brokerage firm in Karachi called Arif Habib Securities Limited. Now it has been changed from Arif Habib Securities to Arif Habib Corporation. So I had started with a capital of 40 million rupees, and in 2001 we got the company listed at the stock exchange, at the Karachi Stock Exchange in Lahore and Islamabad as well, and valued at 400 million rupees. And that means 40 million was contributed by my family, and for a 25% shareholding, we raised 80 million rupees from the general public. So those 120 million rupees during the last 10 years period, now the equity of the company is 26 billion rupees. And during this period of 10 years, the company has given a dividend to its shareholder of about 4 billion rupees. So imagine that a company having contributed the 120 million rupees by its shareholders is now having an equity of 26 billion rupees and has distributed dividend of 4 billion rupees to its shareholder in that period. Then in 2001 again, when we saw a good period in 2000 at the Karachi Stock Exchange, we decided to set up an asset management company, unit trust management company, mutual fund. And that was a time when myself and father of Nosh were on the board of one of the public sector company called Sui Northern Gas Company. There he was the deputy managing director of a national investment trust, a public sector unit trust. So I, in fact, expressed a desire to set up a asset management company. At that time, the minimum capital requirement for setting up the asset management company was 20 million rupees only. So we started in 2001 rather 2000, and started our operation in 2001 with a paid-up capital of 20 million rupees. In 2008, we got that company listed, valuing at 3 billion rupees. So in a period of 5 years, the 20 million contribution of the capital became, or the market value of that was determined at 3 billion rupees. So what I'm trying to say, and particularly since the team members of the Serendib Stock Brokers are here, so I would like to share my experience how the financial services company grow if you win the confidence of the market, you win the confidence of the investors, because this is a game of knowledge, it's a game of a longer period of continuous good services. If you will continue to give good services to your investors, to the public investors and to the institutional investors, it is bound to, success is bound to come to you. So we at the Sri Lanka have come for a longer term view on this economy, since this is a beautiful country of literate people, and since this is a game of knowledge and game of integrity. So if we follow these principles, I believe that we will bound to success, God willing. So, in fact, the Pakistanis have very positive sentiments about Sri Lanka, because they feel that Sri Lankans are our real friends, and we also are being received very friendly in this country. So we feel very comfortable here in Sri Lanka, and since the economy and the capital market of Sri Lanka is at a stage where the Pakistan was 15 to 20 years ago. I remember that the exports of Pakistan touched 10 billion US dollars sometime in 2001 or 2. Today, the Pakistan exports are in excess of 25 billion US dollars. Similarly, your present exports the Sri Lankan exports are 10 billion US dollars. Whereas your imports are 20 billion US dollars. At that time, Pakistan had import of 20 billion roughly. Now, its export is over 40, imports are over 40 billion US dollars. Similarly, remittance from non-resident Pakistanis presently is 15 billion US dollars. At that time, it was $6 billion, same as the Sri Lanka has. So, whatever we have seen in Pakistan in terms of growth in the turnover of shares and volume, and in terms of companies listing at the stock exchanges, we also saw a very large number of companies coming to the stock exchange in decade of 90s, and then we saw when our government was pursuing a policy of privatization. At that time, they offered some companies for the transfer of management. They also offered some companies to be listed at the stock exchange by offering shares to the general public. That also contributed a lot in the growth of the capital market in Pakistan. So I believe that in those areas, the government of Sri Lanka would also consider of doing such type of, taking some type of initiatives for the growth of the capital market in the country. And Sri Lanka is fortunate because here the literacy rate is very good. Whereas in Pakistan, literacy rate now I think is around 50-55%, whereas you have 90% literacy rate here. So here there are a lot of opportunities to attract investors for this constructive activity, because you see that I always say that this activity of investment is more nobler than making charity. because you provide the opportunity of jobs to the people, you produce the goods for the use of the people and contribute in the revenues of the government as well. So that is a very, very noble activity, particularly for my team, who is in fact managing this stock brokerage house. And I would also convey to the people of Sri Lanka that Arif Habib Group is very much committed for this stock brokerage firm. We plan, as Nosh said, we plan to set up the unit trust here. And we also in Pakistan have set up the first real estate investment trust management company. So that we have discussed it with the regulators here in Sri Lanka, and they also expressed their interest to look into it and would like to get assistance from us in this respect. We also arranged some assistance for introducing the Islamic banking here. Nosh is also working there, so we will then be doing that as well, because there is a lot of appetite for that medium as well. And since we grew, we in fact started as a securities brokerage house, then went into this asset management, the real estate development as well. We have a number of projects in Pakistan of real estate development. And we then went into a private equity type of investment in cement, in fertilizer, in steel. We are partnered with Mitsubishi Japan in Pakistan in a steel mill, and which we are now managing. We in fact were the successful bidder of Pakistan Steel when it was offered for a privatization. Presently, our group in fact owns 2 fertilizer units. There was one acquired under the privatization program of Government of Pakistan, that was Pak Arab Fertilizers. And then we also set up a greenfield fertilizer project with a cost of $750 million US. So that was in fact completed in a record period of time and has been successfully running. Now our group in fact has made commitment to set up a fertilizer unit of 1.5 million tons in USA, Indiana. The Indiana government in fact has raised for this project 1.26 billion US, and we would be contributing 445 million US as equity, of which our group would be the majority owner of that project. So we here in Sri Lanka, our group in fact has entered into an understanding with the government of Sri Lanka to set up a cement grinding unit in Hambantota. So that will have a project cost of 20 million US, of which $15 million would be invested upfront. And it will have a grinding capacity of 1 million tons per annum. So that also shows, in fact, I was having a meeting with the Deputy Minister of BOI and having discussion that what other opportunities the Arif Habib Group can avail here. So we would be very much interested in fact, entering into various sectors of Sri Lankan economy, and we would also like to contribute for the development of the capital market here, which is our core activity in Pakistan, and we are in fact known with that services which in fact we have been providing to Pakistani people and Pakistani markets. So the companies which come for listing at the stock exchange, last year 90% of the companies we were advisor to them which came for listing at the stock exchange. So what I'm trying to say, that whatever experience team we have there in Pakistan, we will make available them here for help and assistance to the team here. We would also invite our team members there in Pakistan, so they could see the stage of development of Pakistani market, and in fact exchange their expertise and views for the mutual interests of both the countries. As far as the governments are concerned, I think they have very cordial and good relations between them, the Sri Lanka and Pakistan. I think that is, I see, is a big plus. And in fact, our president and the cabinet, whenever we talk about Sri Lanka, they encourage us to go there and have business and commercial relations with them. And in fact, I forgot to mention that we are also into commodities futures, not only in Pakistan but in Dubai as well. So I have already asked Nosh to in fact make research and compile the information from this market, that where in fact we can contribute there and have some business relations in that respect as well. So I'm extremely grateful to my team members here, to journalists in fact who in fact have come here to give an access to us, to the general public in Sri Lanka. So I wish a very, very successful period ahead for Serendib Stock Brokers Private Limited, to the people of Sri Lanka who are very dear to Pakistanis and vice versa. So I think our partnership would be perfectly for mutual interests of both the people and both the countries. So with these words, I thank you all again.
outright lands to foreigners, how that will impact on your future prospects?
That I think we would not be buying those for us. We would be in fact looking for an opportunity to develop the property and sell to the Sri Lankan citizens. So I'm not aware of exact what decision cabinet has taken, but just to give a comfort that we are not looking to buy a land in the name of foreign company. Probably we would be setting up a company registered in Sri Lanka, and that land would be developed and would be sold to the Sri Lankan citizens.
To begin the
one of Canada's largest financial institutions, and have also been involved with the Asian capital market that are the hallmark of the group. With my direct experience and long family association with the group decided to bring me in as their resident director and CEO of the Sri Lankan operations, and that is in March 2012, and now today it stands as Serendib Stock Brokers. To begin with, I'd like to first kind of just give you the reason for choosing the name Serendib, and if you see, the striking feature in that is the beta factor and what that signifies within our name. This was a long thought process, and after a lot of marketing initiative and speaking to some of our foreign prospective clients, the name Serendib was chosen. Serendib is obviously it's synonymous to the island Sri Lanka, and it gives a very good marketing flair to some of the foreign investors. And the beta factor was put in to enforce the fact that the risk factor that prevails in the market and basically the compensation for that risk that needs to be given to that client, and all of that can only be understood if there is a fundamental backing and essence of understanding the market, the environment, the capital markets on the whole, and how you can facilitate your clients so they are well awarded for the risks they are taking. So that was in essence the name chosen for the name Serendib. As mentioned, today marks a very special day for us with a re-emergence to a better future. Today we have formally announced our new name. This change was long due and is in our larger strategy to position ourselves in the international community. This day is especially more important and auspicious as we are fortunate enough to have our group chairman, Mr. Arif Habib, present with us. Mr. Arif Habib is one of the most remarkable and respected businessmen of Pakistan, and his achievements are a testament to his greatness. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank the press and the media personnel for extending their valuable time. Your presence is much appreciated and you're most welcome. And thank you once again. Lastly, and most importantly, I would like to thank my team at Serendib Stock Brokers Private Limited for their endless hard work and dedication. And the future for us is very promising. It's been nearly 1 year since I took over management, and today, with endless efforts of my team, Serendib stands stronger than before. Over the course of the year, we have made many changes for the betterment of our future, and that can only be achieved mainly with the focus to serve our clients. We at Serendib Stock Brokers believe in one main prevailing fact, and that is our main and most important allegiance lies to our clients. And at every step of the way, ensure their total well-being, and that well-being can only be achieved if we understand the true facts and fundamentals of the investment environment we advise our clients to invest in. Unfortunately, history has seen the share prices have risen way above their fundamental values. And a rational investor who held the stock for a long term could possibly not earn sufficient by way of dividends if he bought at an inflated price. One of the most crucial, essential, and important elements of investing in a stock is that the investor is taking on a business risk. But what was witnessed in the past was that the investor took on a price risk. This deviates from the basic fundamental of owning a stock. When someone owns a stock, they own a share or a portion of a business. And as a business owner, has to be an informed decision maker. And that information can only be achieved via fundamental research. This does not mean that the market does not have speculators. Speculators are there and always will be. But as market professionals and as a broker to the stock exchange, a level of responsibility lies on the investment advisor to assess the threshold of the client and assess the risk-taking capacity of his client to speculate, as speculation can be a very risky game. I'm happy to say that today at Serendib, the investment advisors are very clear of this basic fact and hence are expected to evaluate and advise accordingly. Hence, in order to put the above in a working plan, we have heavily invested in our research department and are constantly working on enhancing it. Our research team is headed by Mr. R.M.B. Senanake, a veteran with decades of experience and a well-respected analyst and economist of the country. He is well known to the press and hence needs no further introduction. Under his guidance, we have hired additional 2 people and are constantly looking at ways of growing the strength. Further complementing them is the backing of our research team in Pakistan, which comprises of many professionals like CFAs and CAs and are well known and awarded for their quality research. Today, we have also established very strict risk procedures. There are 2 broad pillars to this. into assessing this and managing it, and which I'd like to say. One is to assess and manage the credit risk of the firm itself and the overall integrity of the market, and most importantly, to understand the risk threshold of a client. Further, it is also clear to us that credit is not for everyone. Again, what I would like to emphasize that yes, every market has its credit and that's a part of the market, but again, from our perspective, the way we have governed ourselves now, that credit is not for every client. Credit can only be given to a client who is sophisticated enough to understand it and can bear the risks that surround it. Unfortunately, this was not the case in the past, and the firm had to bear a lot of loss. And as we know, unfortunately, the fact is that the whole market is suffering this today, and a lot of brokers are stuck in these issues today. But today, I'm comfortable in saying that at Serendib Stock Brokers, we have made an assessment of the current status of the stock market and have deleveraged and provided for the doubtful debts. We now have a clean balance sheet with no receivable from the clients beyond a 30-day mark. So we stand at a very clean and healthy balance sheet. And at the same time, the parent company is constantly increasing the capital by infusing new money into the company. So our balance sheet is getting healthier day by day. We have also started corresponding with foreign potential clients with a focus to bring investments into the Colombo Stock Exchange. We feel the fruits of this will take a while, as these investors are very sophisticated and want to understand the market and the economy in depth. These investors and fund managers ask very drilled down and pinpointed questions, and our research team is constantly engaged with them. Recently, there has been a lot of initiative by the Colombo Stock Exchange and the Security Exchange Commission of Sri Lanka towards the betterment of the market. And as we speak, they are in India on a roadshow. We feel the strong initiatives, and with the market going through its evolutionary correction phase, the market will be staged for a lot of foreign investors and local investors seeking value. This will take its time, but we are hopeful that this will take place. Other future initiatives we are thinking of are, we are looking at the asset management space in Sri Lanka. With our group being experienced with one of the most successful and the largest asset management, or as they're known in Sri Lanka, a unit trust company in Pakistan, asset management in Pakistan and unit trust in Sri Lanka, or mutual funds in Pakistan and unit trust in Sri Lanka, we are very hopeful in the area and are keeping our ears close to the ground. In fact, our CEO of the asset management company has already visited Sri Lanka and has had a couple of meetings. And we are hopeful that we are serving the market, and we are hopeful that we can bring in our experience and do well in that space, especially as we have been one of the most successful asset management companies in Pakistan and manage large sums of money. Further, we're also looking to bring in the group's consultancy firm to Sri Lanka. Under the consultancy umbrella, we can advise Pakistani business firms in Sri Lanka. We could also arrange deals by way of corporate finance, and most importantly, can also facilitate Sri Lankan businessmen in Pakistan. Through the consultancy, we can offer services advising on Islamic banking and finance, on REITs, or any other capital market related initiative. Since the group is known for and has paramount success for facilitating and participating in such initiatives. Finally, I would conclude by saying we are confident to be in Sri Lanka and see this unique country in the SAARC region as one of the major contributors to the region. Especially since Sri Lanka has a good relationship with every country in the SAARC region. And with Pakistan, Sri Lanka's relationship goes a very long way, and we are very proud of the friendship the two countries have. Further, Sri Lanka also has a very important role to play with its water highways. And it is obvious the benefits of that are bound to spill over into the rest of the economy. Further, Sri Lanka also has a unique thing that it has, amongst the region, it has probably one of the highest literacy rate. And all of this can only mean a potential growing middle class, which can be a backbone to any economy. Finally, we are also very thankful to Sri Lanka, our Sri Lankan friends who have constantly shown us love and respect, which only reinforces our vision to be here. So please, thank you for your time and patience. And with that, I would kindly invite my group chairman, Mr. Arif Habib, to please say a few words and grace us with the presence. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, journalists, team members of Serendib Stock Brokers, Fateh Ibrahim Saab, Noor Saab, I'm very pleased to be part of this ceremony, which in fact is launching the new name of the brokerage house, and I'm very pleased to be here again. It reminds me that first time I came here to Colombo in 1992, when I was having my first tenure as president of the Karachi Stock Exchange, elected president. At that time, the terminology used to be as president of the exchange, but subsequently changed to chairman. So between the period from 1992 to 2004, I remained president and chairman of Karachi Stock Exchange for 6 times. And in 1992, we were brought here to watch the central depository system here in Sri Lanka. We had also visited many other countries, since we were planning to set up a CDS in Pakistan as well. So in 1993, we set up the company called Central Depository Company of Pakistan. And that the operation of that company then started in 1997. In first year of my tenure as president of the Karachi Stock Exchange, I can recall that one day when our turnover of the exchange, at that time there was open outcry system, there were physical share certificates used to be there, and our turnover used to be 1 million and 2 million shares per day only. And one day, when our market was opened for foreigners in 1992 by the government of Pakistan, at that time, the turnover per day reached to 7 million shares. And Karachi Stock Exchange had to close for one day to cope up with that volume of 7 million shares only, because that was all the physical share certificates were there, and open outcry system was there. And in 2004, which was my last tenure as chairman of the exchange, we saw a turnover of 1 billion shares in a day. So we set up the central depository system. We, in fact, changed the system of trading from open outcry to computerized trading. We also carried out many reforms, inviting public representatives on our board. We also, in that tenure, I got the opportunity to introduce the leverage products at the Karachi Stock Exchange. So all those helped in increasing the daily turnover at the Karachi Stock Exchange. Imagine, and there was a time when the Karachi Stock Exchange used to trade $500 million a day. It used to be about 3 to 4% of its market capitalization was being traded at the Karachi Stock Exchange. The KSE 100 index was also launched in 1992 at a value of 1,000, and that between 1992 to 2000, we saw a fluctuation of about 500, 600 points from 1,000 to then 1,600 and remained between that level. But since 2001, then our market saw a booming period between 2001 and 7, and we saw the highest index value of 14,600. And then there was a international financial meltdown in 2008 when index plunged from 15,000 to 4,800 in December 2008. And since then again, the Karachi Stock Exchange index has now recovered to, today it was 18,300. Last year, the Karachi Stock Exchange index appreciated by about 49%.